Look at him. He's just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A, and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt. Enjoy the takes.
Hi guys and gals, probably just guys. What's happening? This is episode 137 of Take or Wide. These episodes are brought to you by Dave Levitt Photography.ca. Dave hosts these files. He does music videos. He did the Sabatini's Guest of Honor. He did the Fuck the Facts one. I think Solitude is called. He's done promos for me forever, and he's just an all-around great dude. So if you need some work done for your band or pictures of your card or you need a deck built or something, get a hold of Dave. He's all around good guy. Also brought to you by righthookmics.com. That's the homie James in Montreal. He's selling the old school looking mics at an affordable price. They're road tested, they're studio tested, they're affordable good mics that look cool. So if you're looking to get a mic, just grab one of those from James. This week I'm talking to my buddy Luke from Iowa. Luke plays in Druids, also plays in Modern Life is War. Met Luke years ago, and this is just a good way to catch up, and we're going to talk about his new album and touring and all that shit that is this episode. So episode 137, Take or Wide. Let's go.
Steve Mon, what's up?
Buddy, man, I miss you.
I know, I miss you too. Shit.
It's been a long time. Actually, a couple years, eh?
Yeah, I saw you at the BDK and the guys were down to some ice cream.
Yeah.
Ice cream.
Oh yeah. That was that when Rob's said somebody stopped me? Was that day?
Yes, that was.
I'll just fucking do a quick little intro here. Fucking, I met Luke, I don't know, in 2010, I think, in Michigan.
Yeah.
I think. Luke plays with, I did a little intro before this, but Luke plays with Druids. He's played with 1,000 million bands. But yeah, we quickly hit it off. But yeah, that day we went out. I still remember the sandwich. It was like an avocado cream cheese sandwich, and I don't know, man. People listening need to tour with Rob to know what Rob's like.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
There are people that you run into and you're like, this guy is one of a kind. And when you tell somebody that, like they're one of a kind, like you tell somebody else about this person, they're like, oh yeah, I'm like, no, there's nobody else like him.
Exactly. There's a few people and there's a scope of it. There's I have people who, Rob in his own way is inspiring, but I have people that I know that are really inspiring as far as how dedicated and how organized and how much they've accomplished and stuff like that. And this isn't to diminish Rob, but he is one of a kind in that he's 36 and still wears 2 different colored socks.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite stories of Rob, and if he's listening, Rob, I love you to death, but this is real talk.
It's the truth.
I think Shawnee caught Rob playing, I think Maiden or Megadeth. I think it was Megadeth, but with his guitar not plugged in, or maybe it was plugged in, but just a moment of privacy. I think he must have not heard Shawnee come in, but he came down and Rob was I think in his boxers and a shirt and a guitar and rocking out to Megadeth. That's Rob.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, he's incredible. I'm trying to think of so many. I really haven't hung out with him that much, but I feel like I know him so well.
Well, dude, you've hung out with him enough, and he's been on point enough that it's oh, I got the essence.
Dude, he's just an amazing man. I don't know.
He is. He is one of a kind, and just like you are, Luke, one of a kind.
Come on, man.
I know, but fucking for real, dude, it's I don't know. I bring it up every now and then on this thing that I'm not as busy as I used to be, and part of being busy is seeing my friends. So shows mean a little bit more now because I get to see my friends and kind of relive that shit. and especially like all the guys in the States, because I've been in the States for a couple of years now, and especially like my good friends like you and some other friends I have. It's been a fucking while, man. So I'm excited to just talk to you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it has been way too long.
Yeah, but what do you do? It's I'm not looking to be touring 9 months of the year, just so I can see my friends. Like,
right. Yeah, it's tough, but we're able to do this.
Yeah. Well, that's just it, man. Like, so you this new album you guys put out, and I don't want to make this too fucking formal, man, but I do want to get people, to hear what you are doing. So we'll just kind of skim over that bullshit. Because honestly, dude, I listened to that Pants Off podcast, and it's good. It's a podcast, but I'm more interested in just having a conversation with you than kind of like, so what was the influence of this and blah 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 blah. But I do want to talk about that. But the new album, Cycles of Mobium, right? That's what it's called. Well, I dictionary Googled Mobium, but I couldn't find what is Mobium?
It's kind of a spin-off of this comic book artist Mobius. And he did lots of sort of sci-fi, desert-y, surreal kind of stuff. And I always really just like gravitated towards his stuff. And I just kind of just threw the words around and kind of made it up, really.
Yeah, I didn't really realize, thematically, because actually I didn't see the lyrics on the Bandcamp page, but like the artwork itself kind of gives off a vibe of and listening the sort of sci-fi space sort of out there vibe, and with like the title Cycles of Mobium, Cycles of Mobium. Is it just is you guys mostly singing about babes on stars flying through the sky and shit?
Yeah, in a roundabout way, yeah. I'll try to explain this without sounding like a total douche, because we do have a story.
Okay.
We kind of like threw together. Basically, it's a story of some twins, a girl and a boy. The boy ends up in another universe. They're kind of like split at birth, and the boy ends up really needing the girl. The boy's planet is kind of falling apart. The girl has something that she was born with in her body that planet needs, that the boy's planet needs. So they kind of connect through all this like crazy cosmic shit. She ends up making her way to his universe and kind of like fixing everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this your kind of first time tackling I guess like a concept album? That's what it is.
Yeah. This is the first time we've ever tried anything like that. It was pretty challenging.
Well, I'm gonna for sure, because you don't want it to come off as like there's I think a fine line between it being like, okay, that was executed well, and like thin ice, like underneath that is like that fell right on its face.
Yeah.
It comes across well, I listened to it and the artwork. I don't have the vinyl or anything like that, but the sound too. I don't know. It works. I think you guys did a good job.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Glad you dig it.
Yeah.
It's been out for very long, so I'm like still just like, well, I like to hear what people have to think about it. Obviously,
it's hard because obviously I know you, and it's you're just always going to be biased with your buddies. But
yeah,
I feel like it's a good time and place record. Like I could see myself driving after a gig at like 2 a.m. and really going with it,
Yeah.
And if I knew the lyrics more so, then I could really get into it. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's I think you guys achieved like that's the vibe.
Sweet.
Yeah, it looks good. And when it came out like a couple weeks ago, last week.
Yeah, June 4th.
Damn.
So yeah, it went really well. I mean, the release, the release party that we did in Des Moines, we just had some buds from out of town come play and just really like hit it off really well. It was awesome. It was a good time.
That's awesome, man. And this label's in Des Moines, right? The
Yep.
Sum Pump. Is it
Yep.
homies of yours, or is it?
Yeah. My buddy Dan, he started putting out some. He put out like a compilation. We were on it a few years back, and he just kind of has always been really supportive of us. And he was like, "Yeah, let's do this."
That's cool, man. Wow, it's great because it's so expensive, you know. Like me and Mark are in the same sort of boat for our next record, where it's like, this one that just came out, the one that Mike's photo is on, like that one.
Yeah.
We did a CD in November of 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just going to be that, but then sort of same thing where we had a friend, our buddy Mark McGee, you know, he's like, "Hey, I'm starting a label. I'll press it," which is like, fuck, man, you know, because maybe we'll sell out of them. And I know I'm busy enough that it's not like Grabert's going to break up, but it's still just like, dude, that's like 4 G's that you're investing in my band. And probably same thing with you. You probably feel the same way, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but you guys,
not only. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you guys have been going for like 8 years, so it's not like I don't think there's a risk of like, it's a good investment, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, we had it before we sort of partnered up with Dan at Sum Pump. We kind of had like a very serious discussion about like, you know, how far are we wanting to go with this? And we all decided to like give it one last shot, like a really good shot. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're like, all right, let's go for it. Let's do it.
So a last shot is in like after this, Druids will be done?
I guess what I mean by that is, as far as touring and like really pushing for the band to like take us somewhere, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So we adjusted our job situation to be able to like tour and everything. So I mean, we just wanted to make sure if we're going to really put our time and money into it, that we're going to be doing what we have to do to get it out there.
That's awesome, man. That sounds like that's, that only comes with time. Like, how old are you, dude?
30.
Yeah. I'm 33, and I only feel like now am I starting to get a grip on how to do this on a level, you know?
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, but, I'm kind of happy that I've learned all those lessons I've learned. Like, I just went to my buddy's show here in town, and it kind of broke my heart because it was a Sunday night, local band dropped off, and they're from Montreal, and it was just kind of like, I don't know if this was like the smartest move, but I know when I was 25, I remember we did one show, $150 got paid, and it was in this town called Rimouski, which is, Jesus Christ, like 12 hours away. Yeah. For one show, but you have to learn those lessons when you're a kid so that we're not making them now when we're 30 and have homes and shit.
Exactly. Dude, you learn the hard way.
Yeah, but that's...
with everything. I mean, especially when you're 18 or 19, you're like, all right, let's just hit the road. And you blow all $100 you have in your wallet in the first 3 or 4 days. And you're just like, well, not going to do that again.
Yeah. Well, when did you start touring shit? Well, actually, let me close off this Druid stuff because I'm trying to make this chronological. So, it's out on vinyl. It's out on CD too.
Yeah.
And what are your plans like touring cycle wise? Because I guess you guys are ready to go. Is it going to be like a Europe thing and Canada, or what's your goal with this?
For this year, we're just going to do. We're going to do. Let's see. We've got 3. So there's 5 weeks of touring. Semi-regionally, we're going to go to the East Coast. But we're trying to really make the West Coast one count because I mean that's quite a commitment to go all the way out there. We want to do it right,
Where do you guys want to go? Like strictly West Coast or like the Midwest? I guess you are kind of Midwest.
Yeah, I guess from where we're at, like West Coast, really the route would be go down basically like the pinpoint would be like San Diego, like Southern California, and then just work the coast all the way up to Seattle and then come back through Montana and the Dakotas and all that stuff,
And then next year, what's up?
Next year, I mean, we would like to do Europe if we can get everything in a row, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Europe is a goal, Canada's a goal. And just really try to work the regional thing because that's something none of my other bands really did. We just kind of like went all over the place.
Yeah.
And when we'd come home, it's like we didn't have the surrounding area built up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just feel like it's a lot smarter to do it that way. Around here,
Yeah. Well, it's so much different with the States than Canada. You can make little pockets, It's so fucking crazy how compact the cities are versus up here. I was going to ask you something else. I already forgot. The touring cycle. Yeah. So how long is it going to, like a year and a half? You like what do you think on this album,
I would say that we will probably, if I had to guess, we would probably tour on this record for about a year and a half. I think we would like to we'd like to be in the studio winter of like next year.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
For the next one.
That sounds like it makes sense as far as sorry, I can hear myself in your mic. It's fucking with me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It does. It's weird. It just started acting up now.
Oh, strange.
I can pause this if you have.
I can try to get some.
Yeah, here. Let me pause this real quick.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Grandpa Luke fucking figured it out. But we were just talking about the touring cycle and going to Europe, and it actually a year and a half makes sense because it's kind of funny, man, when you think of the interest that people have in the short attention spans that they do have in that. Here's our new album, check it out. Here's maybe a video, but then it's kind of like gone out of people's heads,
And that's something that I have never really thought about. Like an album cycle is like as far as how long you tour and how long you do promoting, like marketing stuff, like after the record comes out and all that stuff. Because I've never really done that.
We didn't do that until Dog Years. That was really the first time I really did it. And I saw you guys are working with. I saw Pure Grain Audio. That's a Canadian news metal site, something like that. So I kind of saw they're I don't know if it's Sun Pump or if it's you guys working with PR or something.
Yeah, we're working with the temp agency. Just have somebody. Drew, actually, my brother, he played in the River Monks. They're like a folk band, and they used her and worked really well for them. So we're just like, why not? And she knew she knows the kind of stuff that we do. So it's kind of it's cool.
Yeah,
She's
it helps.
Good job. Yeah,
I'm kind of hoping by the time I'm 40, I'll have it figured out. Another 7 years.
Yeah. I hope so. If I don't, whatever, I'm still going to do it. But it's it's...
well, you know what, man? I can... Actually, I wanted to show you this real quick. Can you see that?
Yeah.
For people listening, it's like a CDR of his other band. The band that I met you with, An Airbag Saved My Life. This is 2 songs, and this fucking ruled, dude. When I think about... So we met these guys in... Michigan, and then later that year, I think, or it was the next year, we met with you guys on the West Coast.
Yeah, very randomly, right?
Was it I think it was.
Or did we hit you up because a bunch of our shit fell through, I feel like somebody.
I think Joe. That's his name.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah,
Joe hit us up. I definitely think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hit us up.
Because you guys had what was it, 2 or 3 shows?
Yeah.
that we were jumping on. I think we played with each other in Northern California.
We did.
Then Portland. Yeah.
We did Portland. We did Chico, California, and we did.
We didn't do LA, did we?
No. I'd have to stand up and see with the posters on my wall, but yeah, we fucking it was those 3 shows, I think, later that year or something like that.
Yeah, it was October.
But thinking about it makes me think of that. I think it was Chico we played, and it was like an art space. And do you remember there was a band from? I still have their 7-inch because they were giving them out at the end of the night. And I think the cops came and shut down the show. And there was a dog with like 3 legs, and there was a girl spinning fire outside.
Was that kind of in like a garage?
Yes, it was like a lofty garage type thing.
Bunch of like graffiti and weird drugs going on.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
That show, when I have this demo,
yeah,
it makes me think because you guys played that one song on there, and I don't know if they shut the lights off, but it was there was a lot of blue lights, and the PA was just like almost like a combo bass amp. It was this really small, like, because the PA wasn't working or something, so we just went vocals into this little amp, which was surprisingly fucking loud.
Yeah.
And the way the room was set up or whatever, man, it was so heavy, man. You guys were so heavy. It was so dope, man. That band was a cool band.
Sweet. I agree. I mean, I still to this day, that those riffs like come to mind, you know. Yeah, it was such a. I mean, if that band would have kept going, it would have. I'd be interested to see what it sounds like now. You know what I mean? Do you ever think about that? Or just
first, dude, man.
I mean, you've been in a million bands too.
Yeah, I was in this band that was like a weird metal band, and I think about that. Like, where would that have gone? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's for sure.
Yeah, and like, who would you be?
I don't even. Honestly, man, so that band I was with, we lived together and we toured our dicks off. This was before the Sabs.
Is this Tugnut?
It was Tugnut, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And we didn't have girlfriends. It was just band, and we were fucking crazy in debt by the time we broke up.
Oof,
so if we had kept going, I'd be an alcoholic, I'm sure. Because near the end, I started drinking, and I never really drank. So I'd probably I'd be in bad shape, dude. I'd be fucking real sketchy face tattoos and probably still wearing like big baggy jeans and shit.
Wait, so would it be all that bad?
It's not that far from where I am. No, just kidding. You look down at your baggy jeans like, oh shit, I'm glad I'm sitting down. Man, this is funny. My phone just went off.
Yeah.
And it's my old, like in high school, Tugnut started in that high school, and I was playing bass, and who called me just now is that original drummer, but he only calls me when he's drunk. Anytime I see his phone, this thing pop on my phone, I know he's drunk. And he'll talk my ear off, but I always feel bad because I'm busy and I can never fucking answer his call.
Oh, yeah, that happens all the time to me.
Airbag, there was a story when we met you guys in Michigan. There was a story of some kid. You told us a story of a kid who like killed his parents or something. Yeah,
Joe knows that story. I have been trying to figure that out for the past like 2 or 3 years.
It was as far as I
can't. Yeah, go ahead.
I know. As far as I remember, he had killed his parents, but put them in the freezer, but had a band stay over at his house while they were in the freezer. I think that's the sum of it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's something different. I thought you were talking about. Got it.
Oh, what do you think I was talking about?
There's
another story.
There's another story.
Jesus.
But that's something totally different. Now that story is about a band from Arkansas that we had done some shows with, and they played a show. I don't remember where they said it was. It was somewhere in the Midwest, and they played this show. You know, they do the hey, we need a place to stay kind of thing, And this kid's like, yeah, we got this, my parents are out of town. We're having this party. You guys can come chill. Like, all right, cool. So they go to this place, whatever. There's like a party. It's like kind of a nice house. And they're just like, just kind of, whatever. They're out of town. We're just partying, whatever.
Yeah.
So they take off early the next morning and they go eat. And they're like looking, there's like TVs and shit in there. And they see this kid that they just stayed with, his face on the news. And evidently this kid had, like, the day of that show, like, killed his parents and chopped them up, put them in the freezer.
What? Okay, so this was the kid who said, you can stay at my house?
Yeah.
So he was still free?
Yeah.
And they were looking for him?
Yeah, and the parents were in the freezer when they were at that house, when they were partying.
And on the TV, they saw news like, Bobby kills his parents.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucked up, dude. That might be one of the more fucked up stories. There was a fucking Facebook group of road stories, and it started off with like a small crew of people, and there was like, bigger whatever dudes who had been doing it longer who started posting stories too, like some of the Converge dudes, or Exhume dudes, like dudes who've been doing it for fucking ever. Yeah. And it was an invite sort of, like, this sounds pretentious, but it was an invite only type thing, and you could, see stories, but then it got really watered down where the stories started to suck because it was like dudes who got invited who had done like a weekend, and like one time we got really drunk and I passed out in the alleyway. It was I've left the group since, but dude, it's like, it could be a book. I swear to God, there was some crazy shit. Oh, for sure. I'll try to find it and maybe like pull some stories, but they're not really my stories to tell, but they're great stories to read.
They're great. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
I love road stories.
Well, you started touring. Was Airbag your first band you toured with, or?
Yeah. Yep. That band started in 2005.
It's a weird band name.
Yeah, it's a Radiohead song.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Joe pulled it out for Radiohead song.
Okay. Anyways.
So we did. Yeah, we started as like this botch kind of band, and then it morphed into sort of like a southern rock thing, and then got into like a weird thing with some like electronics and stuff, and then we broke up, and then we got back together and started doing that like doomier kind of stuff. But after I left for the last time, Joe continued doing it as kind of like a post-rock Sigur kind of thing.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. What's he up to these days?
He's going to school for something that I totally don't understand.
What, like computers or something? He's going to.
No, it's like the thing. It's like I'm going to explain this so wrong, but I'm just going to go for it.
Just jump in, man. Fuck it.
So he appraises ground.
Okay.
That is valued by the oil that's in it.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
And there's way more to it, but it's completely out of my field.
Like that touring back, that was what, 6 years ago. So, early 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah.
You learn a lot of lessons doing that. But for you and doing these cycles now, like, I don't know. Do you miss it, or because, man, you're married, I'm married, we're like adults now, so do you miss those good old days, or what? Did you get your fill out when you were doing it?
I didn't, and I've kind of came to realize that I probably never will. There are things that there are things about, I guess, the good old days that I want to relive, but in a way to where it just makes sense. It's kind of like where you learned your lessons and you learn what not to do and what to do.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I love it to this day.
I was gonna say it's almost a blessing in a way though to not like hate it, to be still
Hmm.
hungry to do it. Because I towed that line with hating it and loving it, and I still have a love-hate relationship with it. But as I'm slowing down, like again, like the shows that I play, there's more weight to them. They mean a little bit more. Um,
Yeah.
and man, like, and just totally cool. Like, people listening, your wife's cool with your sort of goals with this, or
Yeah.
because it's a lot to ask, man. Like, hey, I'm gonna put our money into buying. Like, just the other day, I had to get cymbals, but it's like,
Mhm.
fuck, it's hard to justify. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's insane. Because I mean, now that you have a baby, and it's like that's a lot of responsibility, and that's a lot of your money is going a million different directions, and it's like you said, it's hard to justify something like that. It's
For
like
real.
we can live just fine without this stuff, but it's what I
But
do. Like
well, you wouldn't be the dude you are,
right?
I think both of our wives understand that it's such a crucial part of who we are. I was having a lot of trouble over the last like year and a half, where I know I'm not going to stop doing it, but it's been just a pillar of who I am, from the time I
Hmm.
was first discovering it. It's shaped me and my opinions, and it like completely defines me. So now
Yeah,
that I have this new hat on, being a dad, really, and like kind of like a homebody almost, to a degree, where
yeah,
I work and I sleep and I watch my son. It's been hard to wear that hat, and it's fucked up because you know I it's hard to shake something that you're so used to, like your skin that
hmm,
you're in. And this isn't to say that I don't like wearing the dad hat. I love it. It's great. Having a kid is awesome, and
yeah,
it's given me
absolutely.
tons of perspective. But there's no denying that, like, I kind of have to do this, and you probably feel the same way. Like, I
Hmm.
can't not, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, that's Angela and I would like to have a kid at some point, and it's uh, yeah, it's a hard thing to deal with because we're not getting any younger.
Yeah,
you know?
for real,
and
man.
and I mean, it feels like a childish thing to want to hold on to, because there's a part of you that's like, you know, I want to hold on to this for as long as I have it, because I don't know who I am without it. I
Mm-hmm.
have no idea,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to turn into just a 9 to 5 or what. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not who I know myself.
Yeah, it's
You
almost
know what I mean?
scary to think of that version of myself. I just think I'd be a shittier person.
I'd probably just be pissed off all the time because I'm not doing what I
Yeah.
want,
It's
which kind of makes you feel like a child. you know? But it's like, it's just it's silly.
But she's
It's
down. That's great, man. Well,
yeah,
you fucking Angie's the best, man. Like, of course
she's
she is.
fucking awesome.
She's
Yeah,
with Luke.
she's.
She's with the Luke. That's great. So you
uh,
guys eventually will have kids, you think? It's kind of a
yeah,
heavy question because, I hate it when people ask me, but
no, I mean, we just don't know when is the right time, and I mean, we bounce like back and forth, like, do we or do we? I think that we will. It's just there's it's like there's the question of how much more do you want to do? How
mm,
much more do you want to
mm,
see? How much
mm,
more do you want to experience before that happens? Because when that happens, when we have a baby, I feel like it would be. I want to be like focused,
mm.
like focus as much as possible,
True, true. You know what I
And
think?
yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm the kind of person that when I'm focused on something, I have a hard time doing anything else. Like when I'm writing a record, I can't I can't balance very well, or when I'm doing anything else. If I'm focused on it, I have a hard time balancing.
Do you think,
So
yeah, well, do you think can you focus two things? Could you like focus on I'm Dad Luke and also create a concept album to its like potential that you need it to be?
I think I could. It would take a lot of learning.
A lot of drugs.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think eventually I'm gonna, I'm gonna have to learn how to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, because I mean, like my job now, I'm just like a zombie pretty much.
What are you doing? What's your job?
I work at a truck parts store.
Okay.
And I just sell semi truck parts.
Yeah.
And they treat me very well. They let me do touring and whatever.
That's cool, man. Doesn't might not pay the best, but that flexibility is fucking worth the pay, man.
Totally. And
Actually, I was just gonna say it bugs me when people kind of get butthurt that my job lets me leave. It's kind of like, well, I kind of feel like I shaped that. I kind of told them, you probably could do the same thing if you, I don't know, were either upfront with it or had a little bit of balls to just kind of like, I'm just gonna do it. There was a point in time where I'm like, I'm fucking working at McDonald's if I have to, and I think that mentality kind of helped me land jobs that give me time off.
Yeah, dude, you have to have a work ethic when you're at home, especially because the company that I work for they don't let you do that. I just it kind of worked out because when I got hired there, I was looking for a career. And so I just worked my ass off and I moved up. And when we decided to do this, I was just like, hey, I have to do this. They're just like, word, do it, go for it. It's like, all right.
A good employee is hard to find for real,
Yeah, I mean, you just got it worked out for me. I didn't mean for it to. It just kind of did, but you have to give your employee you have to give your employer, a reason to keep you if you're going to be doing that,
For sure.
Because they could hire anybody to do your job,
Yeah, it goes a long way to be a valuable asset for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't know. We both know music dudes, and there's like the two types. I guess it's just two people, not even music dudes. It's types of people, like people who are music dudes, but they're fucking idiots. Example would be this guy I know. Just a simple thing. Hit us up, hit Grabera up, like, hey, you guys want to play this show? Yeah, sure, sounds good. Oh, okay, I'll get back to you. Oh, the bill is full. You guys can't play. What? This is fucking weird. Yeah. And then show's canceled. Like, what, dude?
Have you ever done this before?
Well, it's and he's an older dude, and yes, he has done it before. And I just can't think like, okay, if you can't handle something like this, like what does that say about your work ethic, or what does that say about what kind of job do you have, and what does your apartment look like? And I don't know.
Dude, the questions just keep rolling in. That happens to me all the time. We have both ran into bands where every single member has no idea what's going on.
It's amazing.
And you're just like, how did you guys even get this far?
I know. But that's kind of with music, you can get in a van and do it. And you might suck, but kind of just ties back into work. Like if there's the two types of people, you have the types of dudes who, take whatever they're doing seriously, be it work and they're a manager and they have their taxes in order, or a band guy who has, the knowledge to execute an album, or a dad who reads a lot of articles and knows the best foods for his kid, and then the opposite side of it. And I don't know, with work, at least, I guess for us, it's a simple thing just to work hard and be a valuable. Just work hard and they'll see the value in that and they'll keep you. I've been lucky in that with only my two jobs, but you kind of need it. So you were going into like
Yeah.
get a career, and were you just thinking I'm not gonna do music stuff, like, or did this album? Do you feel like it was such a because it's a great album? Did that inspire you? Like, you know what? No, I'm gonna give this a better shot. It's worth a better shot.
Yeah, honestly, it was that. It was when Drew and I started throwing some songs together. Because kind of the way we do it is Drew and I write. We like throw some stuff together, and then Keith comes up, and we just kind of work it out. But yeah, once we started like throwing some stuff together and started really jiving, we were just like, let's just do it. Let's just try it. And it was like probably the worst timing, but it's working. We're making it work. So Drew just had a baby too last fall.
Right.
So
Jesus, I forgot about that.
yeah, it's been wild, man.
Uncle Luke, man.
Uncle Luke. I've been an Uncle Luke for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister had a kid when I was really young.
Oh, word.
Yeah, I'm like Grandpa Uncle Luke.
Well, it's man, that's gotta feel great that you wrote something that you're confident enough to really give a go at, because I might make an album, but I know it's good. But I guess I'm in a different boat. I'm not, I didn't start a career and then kind of go like, well, shit, I'm gonna actually give this a go. I've kind of been always like, I'm just kind of giving it a go.
Yeah,
that must be great, man. Like, it's good to be, obviously you want to be happy with what you're done, but that's a real statement that you're so happy with what you're done that you're, willing to make some adjustments. Even your fucking brother to have a kid and really give a go at it. That's
yeah. It's been pretty wild so far. Everybody making the transition because it's all a risk. That it's like everything's just such a risk, but we're trying to keep it as safe as possible and not do anything too crazy.
as far as like length of tours
and like is going, like I was talking about earlier, like is going all the way to the West Coast when we only have 2 weeks to do it. Is that like super smart?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, what's the gas? What's the gas in the States right now? That's the one great thing about whenever we tour the States. It's always cheaper, man.
I want to say it's right around $2.50
a gallon.
Yeah, a gallon.
That's fucking so cheap.
It could be a little bit more. I don't even look. I'm just like, well, I need it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's fucking crazy cheap, dude.
Yeah, it's been like we did a week and a half in March, and our van, I mean, it was probably like $45-$50 to fill it up.
Fuck,
and it'd go for like 8 hours.
Oh my God. Now imagine you were getting like, $200 guarantees a night.
Yeah.
Spend like $10 to get to fucking Des Moines to Michigan.
Fucking hella cash, Steve.
Fucking Luke booking, man. What am I talking about? Airbag booking, man.
Start booking bands.
Robbo booking.
Dude, I've got when we were in. I just got one really quick Robbo story.
Oh, dude, go.
When we were in, it was my birthday, and Ange and I drove up to Minneapolis for your guys' show.
Oh, that's right.
Like Hell's Kitchen or something like that.
Yeah. Hell's Kitchen.
So Rob gave me his digital camera to take pictures. And I'm pretty sure I gave it back to him, but he ended up not having it at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So the next morning, he's calling Hell's Kitchen, and he called. he's this lady on the other phone. He's calling her love, like at the end of it. He's like, "Oh yeah, no problem, love," and you could just hear her. You could just hear her just like, huh?
So confused.
But the thing is that he's such a badass. He just pulls it off,
Oh, dude, it's
confidence of everybody. It's just insane.
We did a show in Vienna at this EKH. It's called. I don't know if I told you the story or not, and I've told it on this podcast, but it's like very PC, I guess, or very basically we were gonna go play there, and our driver said, "Listen, don't take your shirt off on stage. because the women at the squat will find it offensive because they can't or whatever. You know what I mean? It's that's one example. Basically he just sat Rob down and said, like, don't be yourself. Don't say anything. Don't talk to anybody because you're gonna offend somebody with your love, and like don't hold the door for anybody. So I don't know if you've ever seen that meme of that kid that's got the neck and his veins are coming out and he's like trying to hold in like a fart or something. I feel like that was Rob the whole night.
That's so good.
Poor guy.
Dude,
Like, Rob, don't say anything. Don't talk to anybody.
poor guy.
He did his thing.
Yeah.
We didn't get banned or anything like that, so it was all good. But
Yeah, those shows are tricky. You get there and it's like, okay.
yeah. Oh, dude, there was one show in I think South Carolina. Can't remember. And we were on tour with those guys from France, those Sophie Major guys, and it was, I can't remember. I think it was like a dry house. I think it was like, there was some sort of issue if it was like, don't drink in the house. It was just like rules. Here are the rules.
Lots of rules.
But kind of, I think it was just about drinking. And like, I wish Shawnee was here because he could fucking remember it. But
yeah.
Same sort of shit where it's kind of like, okay, I don't know how to act. You know, I know I'm not a piece of shit, but people might perceive me as a piece of shit for saying like, that's gay, or you know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, and when you're out for like a few weeks and you have a show like that in the middle, you're so used to just being a total turd bag.
Yeah.
And when you get there, just like, oh shit, all right, I gotta really clean it up. Because the thing, like, you don't want to be offensive, or like you don't want to piss somebody off. You just want to play and have fun.
Yeah. My intention is not to.
It's a tricky thing.
It is, especially me and my fucking idiots.
Definitely had to have a few conversations with like certain bands, like when we're approaching, like, all right, guys, we really gotta tone it down.
Don't be racist, Joe. What? I'm not even racist. Fuck.
Don't tell anybody to suck dick. Just don't do it.
Don't say that. So, dude, I want to quickly just fucking Modern Life is War. You're drumming for them now?
Yeah.
And I don't listen to them, but I know they're like a bigger hardcore band, right? Is that right? Are they a big nu metal band, or they? No, they've been around forever, right?
Yeah, they're Iowa like heroes.
Yeah, and I play that down. I don't have any of the records, but I know who Modern Life is War is.
Yeah.
How is that, man? Is that a bit overwhelming or just kind of surprisingly underwhelming?
It was very overwhelming at first, but now that I've done a lot of shows with those guys and are more, I guess, comfortable with it. It's a blast now. But yeah, it was super scary at first. Because first they live all over the place, so we never practiced. Before my first show, I just learned the songs with.
So wait, your first show was like, did you guys at least rehearse before that first show as a band or no? When
they played Des Moines with their old drummer, that was like a month before my show. I did sound check with him. I ran through all the songs once, and then we did. Yeah, I know, dude. If it wasn't for that, I'd just be like, all right, guys, here we go.
Just totally fuck it up. Woo.
Yeah.
Dropping sticks and shit. Playing songs way too slow.
This is how you guys do it, right? Yeah, so I played Wrecking Ball in Atlanta for a show, and there's like 700 people there. It was shitting my pants. But it went well. And everybody was happy. So,
as I think about successful bands and smaller bands and big shows and having, I played all over the place, and a show is kind of a show. Like that stage is just that, a stage in fucking Mexico. Not that I've been there, is probably the same as in fucking Sweden, you know, and
Yeah.
I would be the same way. I'd be super nervous, just the weight of it, you know. It's like, oh, I don't want to fuck up, and you know, I don't want to disappoint anybody, and
Yeah. It was, I mean, the crowd thing kind of scared me at first, but after doing it, like I did a few in my mind, big flubs. Nobody else really noticed, but I was like, oh, fuck.
I'm gonna get beat up by some hardcore kids.
Yeah. I started to realize that I wasn't really like too worried about. I was more worried about like disappointing the guys in the band than dude, why'd you fuck that super easy part up, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a hard thing to kind of like get over, especially if you don't practice. Like with the band, it's just kind of like and like jumping into it and just like, all right, just got to do it.
And as far as the scope of the shows, like they're bigger shows, you know, like with probably like sound checks and maybe drink tickets, you know, like it's kind of like a real legit thing. That's that's probably been nice.
I mean, you just feel like you're spoiled.
Well,
Totally.
You did Europe with those guys, right? Was it a tour or just some shows?
We did 10 days. We did a 10-day tour with Gorilla Biscuits, and it was insane.
They treat you good, eh?
Yeah, super good. We were on like a bus and all this insane stuff. And then actually right after that, I went home and did our first tour with Druids. We played a bunch of basements in the hot
just
pan.
nosedive from the fucking throne right into a mountain of shit.
Yeah. But I was like, you know, I mean, I think doing shows, you know, playing in like hardcore and heavy bands from the get-go, you play all kinds of places, you know.
For sure.
So like you feel comfortable doing anything, you know.
Well, and even kind of back to like being, you know, the time you put in when you're a younger dude, you know, it's nothing. It's good to start from the bottom. It's not. There's certain bands. My friend, he's in a band, and they're doing pretty well with like management and money behind them, but they haven't really eaten shit before. So, if they're in it 5 years down the road and just kind of there's a lull or something, it'll probably be a lot harder to swallow, you know, like because they're straight up used to backstages and laminates. Shit,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when I run into somebody that has done 10 years touring or whatever, and they've never like Walmart parking lot. They've never done that. They've never slept in the van.
Yeah, it is odd. Those are such like a 1%, you know. Whoa, you exist. It's like seeing a fucking unicorn.
Yeah, it's like, are you serious? You must be so happy. You must be so well rested.
Your mental health must be fantabulous. Fuck.
Must be so full of food.
I think, yeah. You must be so full.
So full and awake.
I think about I just love me and Mark. We have a show tomorrow with this band called Dead Quiet from here, which you should check them out. Actually, sort of same.
Sorry?
What's that?
Who did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Dead Quiet. They're called.
Okay. Yeah.
Like sort of same sort of vibe. You know, like big riffs and kind of majestic isn't the word, but moving. I guess I don't know, but not moving like bring you to tears. But it's just kind of a big record.
Yeah.
And anyways, so we're playing with them tomorrow in a basement. Probably going to be 20, 30 kids there. But both those, there's two guys, and I don't know the other guys, but they've been kind of, quote unquote, at the top of the mountain of underground metal. You know, they've been on bigger bands with big labels and music videos and, you know, autographs and, you know, kind of what I see as like kind of as big as you get for certain types of metal bands.
Yeah.
But it just warms my heart that they're gonna be playing tomorrow in this little basement. It's just like they're lifers, you know. They're. It's the kind of when you're a kid, I would look up to bands that I would perceive to be like, these guys are down, you know, they're down, they're not doing it for money and all that shit when you're a kid. And when you see it as an adult, it's really special. It's really cool that it's like, wow, you're still willing to do this. Kind of why? Because it's harder, but it's just because they love to do it. And you know, it's just I like to be part of that team because I want, and probably you too. Like, you know,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I see somebody like that, it's very inspiring. It's like, man, I want to be that guy when I'm like, 50 or whatever.
Well, it's I want to see them happy. I did one show, and
Yeah.
this guy was old, and he had dyed black hair, and he looked like the saddest dude. And who knows, maybe his mom died that day, or maybe because he was playing in this shitty venue in Hamilton. But it's like, ooh, I want to be doing it when I'm your age, but hopefully I look happier than you.
Yeah,
He looked miserable, It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Because again, like if this is the only thing that's defined you, and you don't know how to do anything else, and you do stick with it, and you're 50, but it's like, I don't know how to do anything else. I have to do this, but it's killing me because I'm playing metal and I'm playing to 30 kids tonight, and I'm starving, and I don't have a home, and all the real sort of heavy shit. I'm really lucky to have met Viv because I feel like my life is absolutely enriched, and maybe you with Ange too. Like I had a headset of I'm gonna live in a fucking trailer home and just tour, but man, I sleep in a nice bed, and I'm kind of glad I wasn't so punk rock to not see how good Viv is, and how my life's so much different now. It would be so much different if I was not with her. We can have both. You have a wife and a home, and you can still tour.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, it's definitely lucky that I met Angela big time, because I mean, I'd probably still be living in my parents' house, just like being a total shithead. But she pulled me out of that, and I mean, everything's pretty. I never would have imagined I'd be living in a house and having a job where I have money and I can tour, and like.
It's maybe too many people sell themselves short, man.
Yeah.
Like it's not possible, but there's a thing I find with a lot of music dudes that we're all, and girls, dudes, good people, like at heart, just good people. And I don't know, I'm sure it's a simple explanation, but there's just so many like really enriching people that play music that I get inspired from, that it's kind of not a surprise. Like for you, you're a good dude, you're an honest dude. So of course, I would hope that my friends who are girls could find dudes like you, or and vice versa, like good dudes find good girls. Like there's a lot of musicians, not all of them, but a lot of my buddies, at least anyways, and that's probably why they're my buddies, are good dudes. They're good people.
Yeah.
So
it's oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's all right. Sometimes I'll rant a little bit on these fucking things, and I'm not even drunk. I just had a coffee, so it's probably the coffee.
I should have done.
Music's so important, man. It's so special. Don't we're just better than everyone.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, because like I think every now and then you run into a band and their guys are just like such fucking assholes, but their band is semi-successful. Like, all right, well, your tunes must just be really good, because like I wouldn't want to work with you. Like I wouldn't want to book your band here. You're not my bud because you're just a douche. But like, if somebody, like if one of my buddies' band's really cool and the band's awesome, or even if they're whatever, it's like, yeah, dude, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
We're like-minded, and
there's the breed of I don't know what I'm trying to say, but just I don't know. How do I sum up my little rant here? Just most the music, my life is better because I've played music and met some really inspiring, awesome people through music, And maybe the same sort of thing can be said for if you're a swimmer, and you might find some really inspiring swimmers, but there's just something about risking your well-being to pursue what you think is worthwhile, which is like playing loud music. It's a weird thing. It's a weird sort of risk people take.
Yeah. And you've played with a ton of different musicians, I'm sure. And I feel like I've learned. So I played with a bunch of bunch of different people, and I feel like I don't only learn things, with music, but with life in general, um, because I don't really listen to anybody else.
Yeah.
Like you listen, like your parents can only teach you so much.
Well,
You're not
dude,
like buddies.
for sure. And it's almost, I think of, and again, not to knock a 9 to 5, but there's like bubbles, right? And I've talked about this too, where you go to school and you have your circle of friends, and then you get out of school and then you have a job where you have some little circle of friends and some little circle of work friends, but
Mhm.
your input that you're getting, that's kind of, everyone's influenced by the outside, but that outside influence is super limited, I think, unless you're doing something that puts you out there, like whatever it is, fucking
Totally.
traveling and stuff. And it's, other people's perspective is great, because it, as long as you're open to it, it can really, you can really get better, be a better person, or have your own perspective. Let it sort of seep into you, and
Yeah.
it's great. Like I hope my son does something, be it something to put himself out there, just to connect with people who are doing the same, something sort of like that. I don't know. Your kid,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like right out of high school and doing some traveling can really like form your personality. And I mean, it's nothing but good experience, because it's such a fast-paced learning system. I feel like, at least it was for me. Um, I learned a lot from just being on the road and being broke and hungry and whatever. But yeah, it definitely makes you grateful for what you have now.
Yeah, for real, man. It's I don't know. It could be a lot worse. Anytime I'm kind of bumming about stupid shit, it's just like bottom line is I can still play. I have friends who, they get older and whatever, their jobs, even just their jobs, it's kind of like, I can't do it. It's like, I think you can. I think you just kind of gave up.
Dude. And then you see, and like, not to get like super morbid or whatever, but I mean, then you see people that something happens to them mentally or like physically, and they can't play anymore.
Word, dude.
And that's just like, you never even think about that.
Anytime with my, too. I'll think about that with at work. Anytime I was at work last summer, and I was working with a grinder and grinding paint off, and it slipped and like sliced my knuckle. And for a second, it was a real moment of terror. Just like, I might have fucked up my hand. Yeah, I would only, unless you could figure out another way to creatively flex that muscle, like that may be a dark spiral. Jesus, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like my mindset now, is that I just want to do it while I can. And I want to like do anything that I can to make sure that I can still do it when I'm older. Like, I've done plenty of partying. I like to like drink and hang out, but I try to treat my body as well as I can, so that I can do it easier.
Well, dude, you're in great shape. Like when I met you, you were way bigger than you are now.
Yeah, I worked pretty hard and getting down. I mean, thanks. Yeah, I've been trying to keep it going. It's obviously a struggle, just like anything else. But
it's long term for sure. Like even if it's just playing music, I don't really do much, but I don't know. It's important to. I think at our age too, like once we hit 30, because if we don't start now, and I can't even say I'm doing anything, but to try to be healthier now, it's a lot easier than I think when you're 40 and 50, and more of your habits are fucking hardwired.
Yeah, and it's something that I've noticed is like it's really hard to keep up, or it's really hard to you can't just like take do yoga once a week. You'll feel awesome that one day that you do it, but the rest of the week you're just gonna feel like, I mean, my like hips are tight all the time if I don't do yoga, and it's like I get so pissed off. I'm just like, I don't want to do it, but I have to.
Are you gonna have to do yoga on tour?
I do a lot of stretching.
I did a show.
I don't do like full on yoga, but
Yeah, one show, this guy pulled out his... Sorry, this guy pulled out his rug and started doing like downward dog, and it was really awkward.
Yeah,
I guess
dude, I know. I don't want to be that awkward yoga guy. But someday I probably will be.
That's okay. When Airbag reunites and you guys like play Maryland Death Fest, whatever. Maryland Death Fest.
Yeah.
Man, we could go all night, but I usually do these about an hour and then I wrap them up. But I do this thing called the Hibzine, which is just, and I always put everyone on the spot, and it can be anything. Maybe what we'll do, I don't know. You know what? Usually what I do is I ask people like, hey, what have you been listening to? And then I play it in the podcast. But I'm going to just play Druids if that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Any track in particular that you think we should play or anything?
I would play Capturing the Fire Mares.
Okay, cool. I'll put that in after the fact.
Racing the balls, assemble and display. Behold the eye, deep in the mountains. Dig through the soul and let the stone glow. Breathe in your fate and let them all go home.
And that was Druids. Whoa. See how I did it? And people can, what is it? druidsiowa.bandcamp?
Yeah, druidsiowa.bandcamp. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I don't know, man. I'll put the link up and I'll tell you when this is all up and shit. But Luke, well, stay on the line. But I'll wrap this up. It's good to see you, man. It's like I miss you, buddy.
Dude, I know. I think about you guys all the time. It's always, you guys are true buds.
True bros. Yeah, stay on the line for a sec. But this is Taker Wide every Monday, or as close as I can to every Monday. DaveLevittPhotography.ca, righthookmics.com, and we'll see you guys next week.